Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll dive into the details of the LAiV Harmony DAC. First, I'll talk about the unboxing experience. Second, I'll talk about the build, the design, the connectivity, function and feature of the Harmony DAC. Last but not least, my favorite part, I'll pop the bottom panel out and show you the internal beauty of the LAiV Harmony DAC and share with you why I think it is a good design and why is it sounding good here in my system. Without further ado, let's begin. This is not how you will be receiving the DAC. I already had the plain looking outer box removed, and this is the inner box. And we always shipped double box to protect the DAC, to protect the packaging for its long journey to you. And if you notice, LAiV pay attention to the details. The inner box looks and mimic the design of the DAC itself. 3 spike shoe design, rotary knobs, power button, and the display screen. And this is how the inner box looks like. At the back of the inner box, it says LAiV Harmony DAC, serial number, the color of the DAC, and some tests it has gone through. Alright, let me just lift up this, and wow, there's a company slogan. It says, designing dreams, yours specifically. Not mine, not LAiV, but yours. And there's a cutout here, allows you to start removing stuff one by one. And this is a nice quick start guide. It says what is included, how to start, how to set it up, select the voltage, and the quick start that allows you to set up the Harmony DAC in your system right away. Let me just leave it here. And there's an envelope, a warranty card made of aluminum alloy. It is a really nice looking card, better than some of the watches warranty card in my opinion. At the back of it, it says 2 years warranty plus 1 year warranty upon registration of the warranty. So you get 1 year extended warranty once you register the DAC warranty with LAiV.audio. Again, serial number, the person tested the DAC, and the date that it is tested. Oops, totally my bad. And it is an envelope, so you expect a letter in this envelope. A welcome letter from the founder, and there's a QR code for you to scan in order to register the warranty right away. So let me just put it in. Oh, I'll just leave it here. There's a special card here. Let me just show you right away. Alright. This is a spike shoe alignment card. So allows you to put the spike shoe on top of it on your shelf and align the DAC on the spike shoe right away. As you know, some of the devices come with 3-footer design. You will need to put the spike shoe to protect the top part of your shelf so that it will not scratch the top part of your shelf. This paying attention to the details to allows you to use this card to set up the spike shoe is really something I have not seen in this industry, along with this quality of packaging, I would say. Alright, so much so for the top part, and let us just remove this and show you the DAC itself. Oops, not yet. There's this very nice high quality bag that is covering the DAC, and there are some other stuff here. The first one is the remote control. Similar packaging quality, lift it up and you'll see there's a foam protecting the remote control, and there's a cutout here allows you to remove the foam, and this is how the remote control looks like. Beautiful, beautiful design. Quite substantial, sturdy, and nice to touch. Nice looking design remote control. And there's a second box underneath the remote control box. Let me just lift up. There are 2 icons here. It says power cord and I think cleaning cloth that allows you to wipe the surface of the cloth of the DAC or to wipe the display of the DAC just in case it gets some oily fingerprints. Let me just put them back. I do not need it today. Alright. There's some other stuff here. I believe these are the spike shoe. Let me just... Yes, it is a spike shoe. Oh, nice. There's a laser edge at the side. It says LAiV, LAiV. Wow, this is really nice looking spatule. There are 3 of them. So you will expect this is a deck that comes with 3 footer. Alright, this is how you're supposed to lift up the deck from the box. And let me just do it like that. Again, well-made bag that is covering the deck itself. And I should close this and move this to a side so that I have rooms to display this deck on the shelf or on my rack. Yes, I should say on my rack. Alright, this is how the deck looks like in the bag. To remove this, I think it's better to put it on top of the shelf and take this out. Ta-da! Beautiful, beautiful design, and it is heavy. I nearly dropped it. You can probably reuse this bag somewhere if you want, like bringing the fishing net to fish with your daughter. I get to this hobby recently. Anyway, I digress. This is how the deck looks like. Pretty substantial despite the size, and I think it is really, really beautiful and well made. If I'm not wrong, the chassis is made of aircraft grade aluminum in a factory that does Japanese camera and lens chassis manufacturing. So you will expect really high quality chassis, substantial, fully made out of an aluminum block by CNC, and it is really nice looking design. Alright, I wanted to show you the connectivity of this Harmony deck, and before I forget, my faithful pointer. Alright, so there are 3 little dots here. These are the spatule holder that allows you to stack another LAiV Harmony series products on top of it. It's a well thought out design in my opinion. There's this chamfer here. This is the power button and standby button multifunction that allows you to turn on the deck. A large 3.8 inch OLED display. And there's a menu button here, a rotary knob, and a multi-function rotary knob. I beg your button. So this guy allows you to change the selection as well as to confirm the selection by pressing the middle. It's a nice touch again. At the back of the deck, again, and a high quality IEC inlets with fuse. If you are into changing the fuse to upgrade the sound quality, you are allowed to do that right away without going into the chassis itself. So this is a fuse IEC inlet. This is the digital to analog converter. You will expect digital input and analog output. This is the digital inputs area where there are 4 digital inputs: USB, SPDIF over optical, coaxial, and the usual suspect, I2S. It is a true balance deck. You will expect XL output and RCA output. You ask, what is this tool doing here? A 4mm binding post for grounding. If you are into grounding, if you are into grounding box, or you have a special grounding system in your hi-fi system, this 2 binding post here allows you to connect to the ground box, to the grounding system, to further tweak and synergize the Harmony deck to the rest of your component in your system. Alright, I plan to power up the deck to show you how it works, but I'm not sure my amateur video skill will be able to do justice, but anyway, I'll just do it. Alright, plug in the power cord to the IEC. Again, I'm not sure the camera can capture this. The standby LED will turn on. It is in red color. It tells us that the deck is in standby mode. Press on the button once, the deck will turn on. After 1-2 seconds, it will go into operation mode. So this is the usual operation screen that you will see. Before I go into the screen, I just want to tell you that this is a multi-function button that allows you to turn off the screen. This temporarily turn off the display. How do you know that it is not in standby? It's by looking at this. A small white color LED light up. It tells us that the deck is turned on, it is operational, but the screen, the display is off. How to wake it up again? Press on the same button to wake up the screen, but the DAC is operational. But if you were to turn off the DAC, press and hold the button for 1 to 2 seconds, then the DAC will go into standby mode. I'm just going to show it to you right away. Press and hold, 2 seconds later, the DAC goes into standby mode. How do we know this? By looking at this red color LED on the front display. Alright, so this is a function of the power button and standby button. It also serves as a display off function. Alright, so this is a OLED display, a 3.8-inch white OLED display, pretty sharp looking. Again, camera doesn't do justice. If you have the DAC yourself, you will know what I'm talking about. And it says no signal and unsupported format or sampling rate is detected. There's no digital input connected to the DAC, so there's no signal detected. But if you have your digital source connected to the DAC, you will see a screen something like this. So it says 44.1 kilohertz as it is in PCM. So it is receiving signal from the digital source. Alright, so how do you change the digital inputs? Is by turning this knob here. By turning this left or right, it allows you to change the digital source, ranging from USB, I2S, coaxial, and optical. You will see this currently it is in use for I2S is currently in use. If you were to change to another source, let's say for example coaxial, stay on the coaxial screen and press the middle button, and it will say coaxial is in use. Again, no signal. It's really because we have no source connected to the DAC. I think I should have something connected so that this will be a more conducive explanation. Anyway, it is what it is. So there are some other stuff here. A triangle display, a coaxial, OS. OS is the sampling mode that is running right away. It's in oversampling mode. And there's this sine wave here with a plus. It tells us that it is the phase of the DAC is set to positive phase. So how do we change all this setting? Is by going into the menu here. So by pressing this button, allows you to change some of the setting of the DAC. NOS OS. You can change the non-oversampling and oversampling mode of the DAC on the fly. By going into the menu, press the button that allows you to change NOS and OS sampling. Oh, before I forget, all this setting can be done using the remote control. The remote control allows you to change all this setting along with a function, a quick function, FN1 and FN2 that you can assign to change the oversampling and no oversampling on the fly using the remote control. It's a pretty nice touch in my opinion. Right, oversampling is in use right away. If you were to change it, you can stay on the NOS screen and press the middle button. It will say it is in use. To go back to the previous screen, press on the menu button. So again, there are some other settings that this is a setting that allows you to reset the DAC to factory setting. Just in case, if you do not know what is the factory setting, you can have it reset to the factory setting. About is to tell you the current firmware version and some of the sampling rate supported over the digital inputs like I2S, coaxial, optical, and USB. Back to the previous menu, I2S. There are some settings on the I2S that allows you to change the pinout of the I2S. Hit the middle button to go into the mode. Live audio mode. Live audio mode allows you to have the I2S automatically configured with the live audio streamer or live audio devices that will be releasing in the future. So if you are not sure how to configure the I2S mode, but if you own two products from live audio, simply set it to this mode and it will be automatically synchronized to the live audio I2S pinout. But if you have some other products that is not from live audio, then you will need to set up the I2S mode accordingly using this setting here. Back to the previous screen, and we have I2S clock. This I2S clock, when you use I2S input, it allows you to use the I2S source clock or the local clock. How do we do that? Here on the middle button, local clock means the DAC will be using its own crystal to reclock the I2S input. But if you have something that is really of much higher quality, that you think the I2S output, the clock itself, is of higher quality, and you want to try using the I2S clock to reclock the DAC, it is possible. So simply hit on this I2S clock source. Whenever you use I2S input, the DAC will use the compatible I2S clock signal to reclock and buffer the data using I2S clock. Alright, you notice I mentioned compatible. So it is not all I2S source output the right clock for the Harmony DAC. Only a handful, or rather majority of them should work, but if some of the I2S source clock doesn't work with the Harmony DAC, the Harmony DAC will use the internal clock inside the DAC itself to reclock the signal. Alright, let me just go back to the previous menu again. Display setting allows you to change the brightness, to change whether you want to use the CD track information just in case you have CD player, a legacy one, connected to the SPDIF input of the Harmony DAC. This Harmony large OLED display allows you to display the CD track information. Again, a compatible CD player. It is not all CD player output the track information. Only a handful, or rather some of the legacy products without outsampling within the CD player itself should output the CD track information. For the case of J's Audio, J's Audio does signal processing of the CD Pro 2 or the CD-M4 signal, pyro sending it out using SPDIF. So the clock or tracks information is lost in the process. So it is not compatible with Harmony DAC when it comes to track information display. I would say this is an add-on feature, a nice touch, but it is not something that you should consider this as critical. Alright, oops. After certain time, it goes back to the main operation screen again. So I will need to press on the menu button to go into the place that I was talking about. Display track information. And you can also set the delay to dim or off the display. These are all the settings for the display. And the next part will be remote control. I mentioned just now there are two quick functions on the remote control that allows you to set the quick function. So you are allowed to set FN1 or FN2 to have your specific function implant to the button that allows you to change the function on the fly using the remote control. You can set NOS or OS, the I2S mode, as well as the phase, the positive or negative phase, by using the FN1 or FN2 button. There's another setting for the remote control is this. LAiV Audio will have multiple products releasing in the near future. In order to use the same remote control to control multiple devices, they came out with this idea of assigning an icon to the DAC. With a flip on the remote control, you will be able to select triangle or square to control different devices using the same remote control, so that you do not need to have multiple remote control or a remote control that is filled with so many buttons in order to have it control multiple devices. Again, this is a very well thought out design in my opinion. Alright, these are the settings for the function, for the remote function, and we have phase that allows you to change the positive or negative phase. Again, the idea is quite similar. Whenever the setting is in use, it will say in use. If you want to change it to another setting, the on-screen instruction tells you to press on the middle button to change the current phase setting to negative. When it is changed successfully, it will be stored in the memory of the DAC. Upon the next power up, it will remain the same setting as it is as you last did. Again, phase, negative, in use. Right, back to the previous menu, and we're done. These are all the settings that you can do to this Harmony DAC using the on-screen buttons and display. This can also be done using the remote control. So either way, you can have the setting done pretty easily. Not overly complicated, not overly simplistic, but all in all, I think it is well thought out to be as user-friendly as possible. Alright, the third part of this video. my favorite one. I will pop the bottom panel out and show you the internal beauty of this Harmony DAC and why I think it is a good design and sounding good here in my system. Right, let me just turn off the guy and unplug the power cord. Okay, I think this marble is good enough not to scratch the surface of the aluminum, the chassis. It should be quite okay to put it in this fashion. Oh yes, this is our demo unit. It doesn't come with a serial number or a tag here, a label here. We are not allowed to sell a demo unit. Without the label here, we know that it is a demo unit and we are not allowed to sell it. At the bottom of the unit, you spot one voltage selector switch. We are in Singapore, so it is selected to 230. If you are in the US, you should flip this switch and set it to 115 if it is not done already. We always ship the correct voltage to the customer so that accident will not happen. Alright, I have most of the screw removed. I'll just need to remove 2 of them. There are total 7 screws. It's a pretty simple to remove one. Okay. Okay, again, very nice and well made product. I have not seen many audio products, but this is really one of the best that I've seen. I think I should have some, let me just put this aside and have some footer to stack and move this in this fashion. Alright, I'll just keep it in this fashion. Alright, this is how the interior of the Harmony DAC looks like. Okay, very neat layout, modular design. I'll just give you a brief information on this. This is an AC filter. Underneath this switch here, there's an AC filter to filter out the noise, the potential noise that is in the AC mains. In Singapore, we don't have much problem with the power supply, where Singapore power supply is quite stable. But in some of the older houses, the AC may contain some DC noise or some harmonic noise. The AC filter helps to reduce the effect of those noise. Does it reduce 100%? No, I do not think so. If you have severe AC problem in your system, you should consider using a power conditioner. Alright, the power goes into this toroid transformer. Yes, I'm not sure whether you can see this. There's this mil metal around this toroid transformer to reduce the effect of the magnetic interference of the toroid. Toroid transformer, being a toroid transformer, is already very low noise. But LAiV Audio takes a step forward to put in a mil metal around this compartment here, along with the CNC mill-up chassis to further reduce the electromagnetic interference. This is a very nice touch. The secondary output of the transformer goes to the power supply module, the display module, as well as, there are 2 power supply. One power supply goes into this and the other one goes into this. So there are 1, 2, 3 secondary winding from the transformer, goes into 3 different places. Display, power supply for digital, power supply for analog. These are the filter caps that converts the secondary AC to DC. And there are some linear power supply regulator here. I think it is LDO regulator that supply pretty low noise DC to the digital module. Similar design here. The AC is converted to DC with regulator as well as LDO regulator to supply the DC to this analog section here. So this is the DSP module. It's completely modular. So this guy can be popped out if you were to replace it or upgrade it in the future. I'm not sure whether LAiV will do this, but being a modular design, it is something that it will come across in your mind that can this be future-proof product? Can it be upgraded if technology advances in the future? I think so. If there's a way to improve the products, I believe a company like LAiV will do that, and you will be able to purchase the DSP module, the analog output module to upgrade the DAC. Just for your information, the HP2A preamp and headphone amp is also modular design. So can these two products be upgraded and future-proof or not? We'll see. Alright, this is a DSP module that accepts USB input, optical input, coaxial input, and I2S input. Let me zoom in the USB input. This is a USB connector. There's a small little chip here that does the important work. It's a galvanic isolation chip, a high-speed one, to isolate the USB noise, and it sends the USB signal to this microprocessor here. I think it's a MCU, microcontroller unit here, that converts the USB signal to I2S parallel sending to this FPGA. Whereas for the coaxial and optical, it goes through a AK4118 chip that it converts the two signal to I2S parallel sending to the FPGA. And the I2S go through a converter that converts the LVDS signal to LV-CMOS parallel sending to the FPGA. So in summary, all this signal, the digital input signal, are converted to I2S for the FPGA processing. The FPGA uses two high-quality cryostat crystals to process the digital signal and send the processed digital signal through this bridge here. It is a bridge between two different modules, from the digital module to the analog module, for the R2R ladder circuitry to work to convert the digital signal to analog signal using the resistor network. There are two little modules here. The R2R is true balance. It is encased in aluminum casing here. Reason being, you may have thought of already, is to reduce the electromagnetic interference that it may have to the very tiny and small digital signal when it is converting to analog signal. So again, it's a very nice touch, nice design thought out by LAiV audio engineer to encase the R2R ladder circuitry here. Four very considerably large audio node capacitor. I think it is the output stage to send the balance signal through this XLR and RCA. Alright, you notice my hand is shaking. This thing is pretty heavy. Let me just put it down. Alright, I think all in all, it's a very nice, high quality built DAC that potentially future-proof, that you may upgrade the module when the technology advances or when there's a way to improve the sound quality. It is sounding really good here in my system. In fact, I've been using the DAC and the HP2A to drive this pair of high sensitive open buffer loudspeaker from Pure Audio project. Yes, the HP2A is so powerful that it is able to drive this pair of loudspeaker here in my showroom with quite satisfying sound pressure. I should say sound pressure. Does the music sound good? Very, very good. The music sounds really engaging, and not only on loudspeaker. When I use my high quality headphone from Odyssey or from Meza, they sound really engaging, where I sort of connect myself with the band, connect myself with the singer. It is hard to describe sound quality using plain words, and I'm not a professional reviewer. But with this Harmony DAC and the HP2A here in my system, in my demo room system with loudspeaker, driving using a headphone amp, as well as using the same combo driving my high quality headphone, the experience is something that is truly amazing. Let's use a simple word. I highly recommend you to consider this DAC if you not already own a very high quality DAC. Along with the future HP2A, the gun power amp, as well as the upcoming streamer available sometime next year, I think LAiV products offering is something that is worth considering and investing. Alright, it is a pretty long video. If you stay until the end of this video, thank you very much, and I hope you hit on the subscribe button and hit on the notification button so that you don't miss any of the future updates on this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.